Finn never dreamed. Or, if he did, the dreams never stayed. Sleep was a simple thing. Eyes closed, time skipped forward, and then morning arrived, wiping away whatever might have happened in between. He'd grown used to it. Other people spoke of wild, strange dreams of running through endless forests or flying over golden cities. But Finn had nothing to share. No fragments, no echoes, just silence. Until tonight. Finn knew something was different the moment he closed his eyes. There was no instant jump to morning, no quiet disappearance into the void. Instead, he was standing, awake yet dreaming. The space around him was unfinished. A hallway, maybe? But the walls shimmered, shifting between colors that had no names. The air felt heavy, expectant, as if waiting for something to happen. And in front of him stood a single door. A door labeled for dreamers only. Finn stared. The words made something inside him tighten. I don't dream. I never have. And yet here he was. His fingers brushed the doorknob. It was warm, familiar. Somehow, Finn didn't hesitate. He pushed the door open and stepped into a world that was impossible. The moment Finn stepped through the For Dreamers Only door, the world shifted. There was no ground beneath his feet. Only the sensation of falling upward. Yet he wasn't afraid. The sky stretched endlessly, shifting between deep violet and liquid gold, like ink spilled in water. Then softness. Finn landed gently on what looked like a field of clouds. But as he took a cautious step, the surface rippled beneath him, revealing flashes of something beneath. Memories? They flickered like reflections in water. Shadows of places he had never been, whispers of voices he didn't recognize. Above him, floating bridges wove through the air, looping in impossible directions. Some twisted like ribbons. Others vanished the moment he looked at them too closely, as if deciding whether or not they should exist. A distant chiming sound echoed through the air, like the ticking of a clock, but stretched, distorted, melting into the wind. Finn exhaled, his breath coming out in a shimmering mist. He was dreaming. He knew it now, deep in his bones. And Dreamland was waiting. Curiosity surged through him. There was no hesitation, no fear. He had never been here before, but somehow it felt like it had been here all along, just out of reach. He took a step forward. The clouds beneath him broke apart, revealing a glimmering path leading toward the nearest floating bridge. As he moved, the world shifted to accommodate him, like a story writing itself around his presence. And then, without warning, something changed. The chiming sound stopped. The clouds stilled. And ahead of him, the bridge leading into the unknown opened like a book. Pages turned, reality bent, and Finn stepped through into his first true discovery. As Finn crossed, the bridge's words unfolded beneath his feet, rippling outward like ink on water. At the very center of the bridge, something glowed, waiting. He knelt and picked it up. A single golden page. Finn held the golden page in his hand, the warmth pulsing like a heartbeat. He had just witnessed words shaping the world. His steps had written a bridge into existence. But what if he wrote something on purpose? The thought sent a thrill through him. Slowly, he traced a word onto the page. Bird. The ink shimmered, then lifted from the page, drifting into the air like smoke. A golden bird formed, its wings stretching, its eyes blinking. Finn held his breath. But then, the bird didn't stop growing. It expanded, unfolding like an origami creation folding in reverse. More wings emerged, more tails, more eyes. It wasn't just a bird anymore. It was a flock born from a single word, splitting and multiply with every beat of its wings. Finn stepped back as the birds filled the air, circling around him in synchronized patterns. Their wings brushed against the bridge, leaving behind glowing words written in the air. But Finn hadn't written those. He squinted at the glowing script. The words weren't just random. They were thoughts he had never spoken aloud. I wonder if this place is an end. What if I never wake up? What happens if I forget I'm dreaming? A chill ran down his spine. Dreamland wasn't just responding to his writing. It was reading him. The birds weren't just his creation. They were writing back. And now, Finn had to figure out what they were trying to tell him. Finn had started to believe he understood Dreamland, But something still lingered in the back of his mind. The birds had written back. Who or what was writing first? As he walked beyond the bridge, the landscape began to blur. Words shimmered in the air, but instead of forming objects, they dissolved mid-sentence, unraveling like forgotten thoughts. The golden page in his hand dimmed. For the first time since arriving, Finn felt uncertain. He turned back to see if the bridge was still there. It wasn't. In its place was an unfinished sentence, suspended in the air. Finn walked forward, never realizing that. The words flickered out before they could finish. Finn's pulse quickened. Dreamland had always been responsive, fluid, but this felt different. Something was missing, or something had stopped writing. And for the first time, Finn wasn't sure if Dreamland was guiding him anymore. Finn hesitated, waiting for a sign, some hint that Dreamland still had a path for him to follow. But none came. Instead, the air around him shimmered, the world shifting without direction, without purpose. Or perhaps he realized it was waiting for him to decide. Finn stood at the threshold of something vast, something indescribable. Dreamland had unfolded before him in ways he never could have imagined. Bridges written into existence, whispers hidden in the wind, creatures that seemed to know more about him than he knew about himself. But now, standing here, he realized something had changed. The sky above was no longer a single endless expanse, but a shifting canvas of countless dreams, layered upon each other like pages in an unwritten book. He could see echoes of places he had been, moments he had lived, yet none of them felt entirely his own. A ripple passed through the air, and suddenly, the dreamscape reacted not to his presence, but to his awareness. Shapes coalesced in the void, fragment of forgotten ideas. Stories left unfinished, doorways that led to places unremembered. Finn reached out, and one of them flickered in response, a doorway forming just long enough for him to glimpse inside. A memory? A possibility? A dream he had lost long ago? For the first time, Finn felt a strange, unshakable certainty. Dreamland had always been here. He had always been part of it. But was he discovering or remembering it? The moment stretched, weightless, infinite. Then something shifted. The landscape rippled, the dream folding in on itself. Finn felt the pull of something beyond, a choice, an ending, a beginning. And in that instant he knew it was time. The dream folded, reshaped, not vanishing, but waiting. Finn felt it all around him, vast and endless. A question lingered in the air, not spoken but known. Will you wake up, or will you remember? A breeze whispered past, carrying echoes of something just out of reach. The stars shimmered, not distant, but familiar, like memories waiting to be recalled. Finn stood at the edge of the moment, feeling the weight of it, and then the dream held its breath.